word design can be a little funny at times. It could have different interpretations depending on the scenario. When you hear the phrase, "That's a great design," would you know exactly what your interlocutor meant by that? It could mean aesthetics, functions, or even both. To give a much deeper meaning to the word design, let's put it this way. Design is about giving meaning to something. It is all about creating an everlasting experience. Design is something more than aesthetics, and most certainly it has many notches above the planning function. That is exactly why the concept of design transcends a single discipline. It can be applied to web, mobile, software, fashion, industrial, interior, and everything else. In the world where anything could be built, it is a matter of understanding whether it really should be built. That is design. Design is something that elevates the lives and lifestyle of people. Design changes what is into what ought to be. Design is the way to build a better and beautiful world. However, what we need to keep in mind is the fact that everything is designed, but few things are designed well. Design is so simple, and that's what makes it so complicated.
The history of masks that are unique to Sri Lanka date back to the 1800s. Sri Lankan artisans have managed to incorporate more decorative techniques and color in the masks that are manufactured today. These masks have been used to portray various characters in popular folktales and for devil dancing. Nowadays, masks are used in dramatic adaptations, dance performances, various rituals, and also to cure sicknesses. According to folklore, it has been said that the art of masks in Sri Lanka has a history of at least 250 years. There is a nice story, or rather a mythology, behind the origin of the art of masks. During the reign of King Maha Sammata, his chief consort, Queen Manikpala, was pregnant. Pregnant women get all sorts of cravings, but it is usually to eat fruits like mangoes and billing. But in Queen Manikpala's case, she had a strong desire to see mask dancers. However, no one knew how to perform mask dances or anything at all about this art. As the queen suffered more and more, the king was helpless as he could not do anything about the situation. Without knowing what to do, the king gathered his ministers and upon having a discussion, decided to send a drum beater to nearby villages with the message requesting people who knew about mask dancers to be present at the king's court. Even after all these efforts, the king was unable to find anyone, and he was saddened by the fact that he could not fulfill his queen's desire. Finally, God Shakra, who was observing this, was concerned about the queen and requested God Vishwakarma, the god of craftsmen, to provide a solution to the problem. It has been said that God Vishwakarma took a human form to come down to the human world, where he left a book that explained the art of masks and verses in the royal garden. The royal gardener, after having realized a book that wasn't there the day before had miraculously appeared in the garden, decided to go to his king's presence and explain what happened. Once the king read the book, he realized that the book contains verses known as Ambum Kavi that explain as to how masks should be carved and painted. The book also contained Kavigayana and mask dancing steps and movements. Upon the king's order, mask dances were performed in front of the queen. After seeing the performances, the queen was delighted, and soon her pregnancy cravings disappeared. Expressions of masks vary from one to another because each and every mask has its own unique characteristic role that links with folklore stories and mythologies. Most of the time, masks have hidden expressions. Therefore, to depict these particular expressions, the artisan should mentally enter into the character of the mask. Because of this, mask carving is not merely a practice of chisel and mallet. Hence, to become an artisan, one should have a wide traditional and philosophical training background. In ancient times, a tree by the name of Din was used to get wood for mask carvings. It could easily be found on riverbanks. However, it wasn't a sustainable option. Therefore, craftsmen decided to use a tree called Divikanduru as an alternative. These trees can be found in marshy areas bordering paddy fields. Not much effort goes into growing these trees. People use these trees to mark their boundaries. This tree is most commonly known as Kaduru. It has a light, soft, easy to carve wood which makes the lives of craftsmen easier. The Kaduru tree has a bark that contains a sticky dew. Once the tree is felled, the barks are removed and kept under the sun to dry and to drain out any sap that's left. Each mask is unique and perfect measurements of carving each mask is given in ancient manuscripts known as Ambum Kavi. Artisans refer to the instructions given in these ancient manuscripts to carve all types of masks. Therefore, each mask that's been carved has followed the instructions given in these manuscripts. Once the carver gives a basic shape of the mask to the piece of trunk with the help of chisels and a mallet, the mask is kept on a stall of hearth to get the smoke to season the wood. It's a very important step as well as a traditional method to keep masks free from insects and bugs. The smoking process not only kills the resident insects and bugs but also controls any future insect attacks. Furthermore, this process has helped in preserving our work for centuries without any damage to its design or the color. The initial preparation process helps in preserving the masks if performed accurately. However, in the present context, this method is not commonly used. Mask artisans have come up with a few new and upgraded mask designs. The art of masks was initiated purely as a form of entertainment. There are three types of masks: Raksha, Kolam and Sunny. The Raksha or devil's masks mostly consist of or depict cobra hoods. They are often used in local processions, pageants and festivities or to welcome dignitaries. The next type is Kolam, and they were used as a form of mass media. Back in the day, media or modes of communication were not this advanced. For example, the Mudaliyar or the village headman in ancient times was a person who had done a lot of ill deeds to society. However, people of those days were unable to express their dissatisfaction due to the fear of repression. So, they conveniently created a play called Jasaya Sahalenchina. They used the play as a medium to severely criticize and humor the injustices of Mudaliyars. Another example is the Police Kolama, which is a play that highlights the ill deeds of police officers. Since they did not have televisions or radios in those days, they used kolam as a medium of expression. They usually end the kolama or play by reciting a Jataka tale that gives an example to society. Sandakinduru Jatakaya and Maname are such examples. In the instance of Maname, they try to portray the vile nature of women to society. And likewise, this kolam has also been used to set an example to society. Sunni masks were mostly used to treat illnesses. Take the Daha Atta Sanniya, for example. It consists of 18 Sunni masks or acts that represent 18 different types of illnesses. If someone got sick, they used to wear these Sunni masks and perform a dance ritual in front of the patient to make him or her feel better. And those are the three different types of traditional masks in Sri Lanka. An impatient person will never be able to carve a mask. You need to have a great amount of patience to become a mask craftsman. Simply having a solid piece of timber does not mean that one can carve a mask in a jiffy. You need to do it step by step, studying one's work while one does it to ensure the measurements are perfect. If it is done in a hurry, the facial expressions might be unbalanced. Therefore, attention to detail is a must. Furthermore, this is an art that should be picked up from one's younger days. One needs to observe the art of masks for days and months. In the past, people mostly used natural pigments mixed with a type of oil called Dorana oil to color the masks. For example, in order to make the color red, the painter would use the crushed powder of a natural rock called gurugal and mix it with Dorana oil. They used a type of clay called makulu to make white pigment, and the black color was achieved by crushing coconut shell charcoal. Ancient painters used natural leaves such as ladappa and kohomba to produce the green color. They used these techniques to make different colors in the past. There were two families that were involved in the mask industry in the Ambalangoda area. They were Ariyapala Gurunanse's family, hailing from Hirevatta, and Tukkavadu Gunadasa Gurunanse's family, originally from Maha Ambalangoda. There was a sort of friendly competition when it came to mask carving. Ariyapala Gurunanse should be honoured for taking the art of masks to an international arena. When the Honourable S.W.R.D. Bandaranaike was in office as the Prime Minister of the country, the Ministry of Cultural Affairs was formed. Ariyapala Gurunanse had a great deal of involvement in the ministry and its work. Therefore, he made sure that the art of masks and the mask industry become a tourist attraction and becomes a booming industry in the country. Craft of mask making has been perfected over the years, and craftsmen have been able to provide new and improved designs when compared to the ones that were found in ancient Sri Lanka. This craftsmanship has been passed down from generation to generation within the same families and has been a family trade since its introduction. Masks play an integral part in ancient days as they were used for healing rituals, processions, festivals, and many other occasions. As these rituals of our ancestors are diminishing from our present society, masks are now being used for decorative purposes or kept as exhibits in private collections by both locals and foreigners.